Welcome back. We're here with Peter Crithary from Sony, and he's going to talk about some new products that they have going on. But first, we wanted to start off by asking him about the SR tape. We all know about the factory in Japan, and there was damage. Can you let us know what the time frame is?
Right, so as you can imagine, it's a difficult situation for everybody. It's a significant natural disaster, but of course, being Sony, being as robust and advanced as we are, we're absolutely on target to be back in production early summer. That's our goal. So,
well, I know that some people are starting to reuse the tape,
right.
like media distributors and other companies as well. Have you heard about?
Right. So what we're recommending is that you be smart and you reuse the tape stock that you have where you can. And as I mentioned, we'll be back on track, and it'll be fine. Yeah.
Fantastic. Also, you introduced the new Cine Alta 4K camera. Can you talk about that?
Sure. Right. So basically, what it is, it's called the F65, and it's actually not specifically a 4K camera. We don't want to be stereotyping in that area. So basically, what it is the industry first 8K sensor for digital motion picture production, where it's basically a 20 megapixel imager. So from that extremely high resolution, the F65 will be able to capture linear 16-bit RAW onto our SR memory and other storage devices, which we can talk about in a minute. From that raw data, we'll then be able to derive beautiful HD, 2K, true 4K resolution, and actually quite a bit higher in the future when workflows can support it, and when the industry is ready to evolve to higher than 4K workflow, the camera is ready to support that. So what it really is about is the extraordinary resolution that we can capture into a raw data form, which is basically an archive. It's a future-proof, putting away those assets to repurpose them later to an extraordinarily high resolution. So we're seeing a movement towards 4K production, 4K post-production workflows, raw workflows, and we're addressing that very, very nicely with this the new strategy we have in place, starting with the F65 camera.
Okay, and then you mentioned SR memory, and I know that that's a new workflow with a bunch of products throughout the line. Can you talk about, and you have a prop as well?
I certainly do. So I'll hold this up to the camera while you guys maybe can zoom into this. This is our new solid-state memory format for high-end high-end acquisition and post-production workflows. It's called SR memory, and the SR memory card can handle up to 1 terabyte of storage, 5 gigabits per second sustained transfer speed. It can handle multi-stream recording. More than one stream can go to the card at the same time. And through the sustained transfer speeds, we're able to actually store up to linear 16-bit raw data, and using the SR codec as well with other products, we'll be able to transfer raw data off the card in under 30 minutes. So it's based upon what we call the SR Master platform. SR Master is the next step in the HDCam SR legacy. As everybody knows, it's the de facto mastering standard for on-set recording, delivery, and archive. It's 10-bit. It's now going to 12-bit. We're at 12 channels of audio. We're now taking it up to 16 channels of audio. And based upon the SR memory card format, we will be offering a broad range of hardware and software products to interface with the format and with the workflow.
So there's a deck and there's a transfer station as well?
Right, so there's a multi-card deck, the SR R1000, which can handle 4 SR memory cards and be able to media manage those cards simultaneously. It'll have an internal 8 terabytes of memory storage, and there's a whole host of features that are associated with that deck, similar to what we're able to support with the traditional SR digital tape decks. We then also have an SR PC5, which is a 1 RU unit, single card holder, where you can pop the card in and ingest into a server, or your network environment at up to 10 gig E. So we can support very, very fast ingest speeds coming off the SR memory card with that unit as well. We also have, with portability, we have SR R1, an R3, and an R4. These are camera dockable recording units that are able to take an HD SDI signal or a multi-pin signal from our other cameras and record to the SR codec. So one of the big developments in that area for us, in addition to the RAW, is the fact that we'll be able to capture the SR codec natively as a file, as data, and store them on the SR memory cards, which then you can use later in post-production natively as a direct-to-edit and other types of workflows. So it's a big deal for us because the SR codec has, up to this point, existed only on the tape. and you needed the machine to get access to the information and capture that into your post-production system. With that typical workflow, you're not able to access the SR codec natively. You had to go through a conversion process, just like you do any other type of baseband ingest. And so with this new workflow, with this new platform, the exact same codec that's on the SR tape, the exact same codec that Hollywood and many other post-production environments have been using for years for the mastering and so forth, the exact same algorithm is now natively available as a file. In addition to that, as we know, we have 440 megabits per second, 880 megabits per second, visually lossless with the 440, virtually lossless with the 880, as measured to uncompressed, no difference, but with a significant difference in file size and payload and media management. In addition to those two levels of the codec, we're opening it up now to 220 megabits per second of the algorithm. So that offers a more friendly payload, and it's been a big feature request for a long time that we add the 220 megabit to be more in line with the other codecs that are out there in the market. So easier to handle, faster to move and manage and work with. So that's a big step up for us. And again, with the native workflow in place, with post-production especially, we've already written the plugin for Final Cut Pro, which you'll be very shortly after the show able to download for free. You install it into the existing version of Final Cut. You'll be able to decode, you'll be able to edit the SR codec natively directly in the timeline and work directly off the SR memory cards when they become available. And with other NLE vendors, Avid currently supports it in their Media Composer version 5.5 in AMA mode. That's actually released now, so they can edit with the SR codec natively. And we're actively talking to all of the NLE vendors and the DI and other areas of the workflow, those vendors as well. We're talking to. On the DI side,
you work with Assimilate and some of the other.
Right, we're talking to Assimilate. We're not yet there with Scratch, but we're actively in discussion. We are there with DaVinci Resolve and Filmlight with the Baselight system. So they are already supported with the SR codec. Right.
Just jumping back to the cameras, I know that you have a 3D stereo camera.
Yep. Right. Shown in a concept form, the shoulder mount XT-Cam platform-based stereoscopic camera, so that'll record to the S/S cards at the 35 megabits per second of the XT-Cam EX codec, left eye, right eye, and then it'll be able to be matched up seamlessly in post-production with the metadata. So again, not reinventing the wheel there. We wanted to use the existing workflow, which is already well established on the XT-Cam platform with the 3D camera.
And then there are there's a ton of new stuff, but the new monitors for post, people are pretty excited about the, first it was the BVMs and now the PVMs that were just announced.
Yeah.
So can you talk about that?
Sure. So the OLED technology is very significant. It's the first to offer that level of picture quality. Blacks are absolutely black. The detail, the clarity in the image, the dynamic range, the highlight and shadow detail is just absolutely spectacular, beyond anything else that's been developed to this point regarding display technology, even surpassing our own display technology in the past. And everyone that's seen it, including I believe you, has commented on just how spectacular the quality is, and it really is a game changer.
So the people out there who loved their CRTs, this is a good solution for them? This
is a very significant step up from the CRT, which was, even till like literally still now, is the reference standard for many post-production professionals to be able to have that visual reference when working in DI and other post workflows. Yeah, absolutely.
What else do our readers, our listeners, what else do they need to know from Sony before we wrap up?
That we are extremely committed to pre-production, acquisition technology, and post-production, that we will be developing not only hardware, as we have traditionally done, but we're very actively involved in developing post-production workflows, both in hardware and in software. In hardware, where we can make it real-time or much faster, or all the way up to the raw, very demanding and very complex raw workflows. And really the key message is that we're open. We're listening, we want your feedback. You can email us, you can contact us on our social media feeds, you can reach out to any of our Sony personnel. We want to hear from you. You guys are the professionals, you're the experienced ones, and that's being reflected in the development that is ongoing in all types of workflows, crossing the board.
Okay, and I know you have a bunch of Twitter feeds as well.
Right. So you can follow us on Twitter. We have two big feeds. We have our Sony Pro USA feed, which is more high-level news from Sony, what's happening and so forth, more strategic. And then you've got my feed, which is Cine Alta News, and I get a lot more granular, answering questions directly. How does this work? How does that work? This is what's coming, and so on and so forth. So a lot more granular in that respect.
Fantastic. Peter, thank you so much for coming.
You're very welcome, Randy.
And
appreciate it.
take care.